Good morning from the Sunshine State. Broadcasting from Palm Beach County, it's the Fishing in Florida Show. Sundays from 8 to 10 a.m. on the WCET FM network. And now, here's your host, Riscala.
Good morning, good morning. It is the Fishing in Florida Show. It is an honor and privilege to have you join us. We are on the new network, the Trim Radio Network. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Lots of things happening this morning. I had everything set up, ready to go, and of course, just about the time we decided to go on the air, everything stopped. So, a little apology from me this morning for starting out a couple of minutes late, but we did finally get everything worked out, and I think we are ready to ride here. This morning, I have Carolyn. Carolyn is with Trax, and I like to say about Carolyn, if you're going to protect what you love to the max, you got to talk to Carolyn over there at Trax. Good morning, my dear.
Well, good morning, and, thankfully my phone knew it was a time zone change this morning, so that was a good thing.
It has just, the time zone, along with my equipment, has just really upset me this morning. I couldn't believe how many things went wrong at one time. It was like a conspiracy theory all coming together. Crazy stuff. Oh, my goodness.
Well, let's get it out of the way on a beautiful Sunday, South Florida morning.
Yes, ma'am, absolutely. Did you get to do some fishing last week?
I did not. It was blowing like crazy last week. A few times I went down to the beach to take a peek, and there were whitecaps that were just unbelievable. There was a big fishing tournament yesterday that was out of Palm Beach, and I think they got a lot of meatfish, kingfish, some sailfish. But it was rough. They invited me, and in a little boat, I thought, no, that's probably not a good idea.
Well, I know you were talking about doing some fishing in the backyard there. Did you get to do any of that?
As a matter of fact, yes. I got to meet the Florida salty Cowgirl, and she came and stayed with me for the night. And not only did she bring me some of her fancy fishing lures that she makes, we got to sit outside on the dock and do a little snook fishing with reel bait this time. So that was great to meet her.
Oh, my goodness. Well, it's going to be a gorgeous day today. The radar says there's very little bit happening around the state so far. Going to be up in the 80s today. We went out for a walk this morning. It was 58 degrees. So we're going to go from 58 to 80. It's going to be a big temperature change. It's going to be a good day for the beach if you want to go to the beach. I didn't have time ran out of time this morning. I didn't have time to check the radar to see what the seas are like. What's it look like off of your cam over there?
Yeah, well, you know what? I always check the seas. Right now, I've got no wind blowing whatsoever, even in a palm tree. It says it's going to be light winds, 5 to 10 knots, seas around 2 feet, 2 feet the next couple of days, and then at the end of the week, get back up to 4 to 5. So today's a beautiful boating day.
Sounds like it's going to be a good one. Well, I think we have Mike Simko on with us. Good morning, Mike. How are you, my friend, and welcome.
Good morning, Riscala. Good morning, Carolyn. How are you guys?
Excellent, Mike. I'm sorry I missed you by a day down in Mexico 2 weeks ago.
Oh, my gosh. Did I understand you didn't miss anything? You got a bunch of shellfish. Congrats.
Yeah, we the girls went fishing down in Island Mujeres, and we got 27 out of 31 fish, and Marina got tired after 4. So that left a lot of work for me. So that was pretty amazing, and I can't wait to see the GoPro footage.
That's awesome. That's great. As you know, I had some time down there as well, and I went a second trip. I took my girlfriend Elise. It was her birthday weekend, so we spent the night over there at Wayne's house, and it was a little rough. It was a little rough for us to go the next day, but my gosh, it's just such an epic trip down there.
How many sailfish did you put on the boat that day?
That first weekend, we were, I think, kind of like you. We were 20-something for 30. We had the next day it slowed off a little bit, but we still had about nine fish. So, I mean, for a real quick weekend of fishing and putting 30 plus sailfish in the boat.
Good gravy.
Seeing all those bites and those bait balls. I mean, I don't know if you saw them when you were there, Carolyn, but when the birds start working and those sardine balls come up to the surface, being pushed up by the sailfish, it's just an epic sight.
Mm. Wow.
It was absolutely unbelievable. I've never seen so many sailfish around the back of the boat. We were hooked up 3 and 4 at a time. It was great. I mean, all of us were catching fish. They even put me on I was a prospector for a while, and I never did that before, but at least they put me to work, which was great learning.
Wow.
Oh, that's great.
I can't imagine having multiple sailfish on at one time. The pandemonium that breaks loose, and they're crossing lines, and you got to uncross the lines, and you got to make sure that it doesn't back up on you. That I bet is a pretty exciting moment.
Well, we were talking about that while we were down there. Gosh, we're missing nothing in Florida because the sailfish bite here has been slow most of the season up to that point. And then by the time I came back, I'd say a week and a half ago, and the wind started blowing, the sailfish bite here in the southeast has been off the charts. Yesterday, some of my friends on a 23-foot center console boat caught 13. There's just so many big numbers being put up in this last week. It's our time too now.
Wow. So, how much time did you spend on there? Just a couple of days?
Yeah, I flew in on the day. I flew in there with the owner of Real Captivating the day that the boat got pretty much settled in down there, early February. I came in on a Friday, home early on Monday, because got to pay the bill somehow. And then, so we made the most of that little 2 or 3 day trip, and then a couple weeks later went back down with Police. So it was, and that was a short trip too. But that Friday, you're flying in on Friday morning with JetBlue, and then leave you can leave Monday evening. You get a nice 3 days there, 3 nights, 4 days. It's beautiful.
How did you do? Carolyn had a bad experience coming back. How was your experience coming back?
Well, what we did, the experience was good. It was okay. The flights were all on time, so that helped. But it's that quarantine, or not the quarantine, but the COVID testing that needs to be done, within 72 hours of your return flight home.
Jeez.
So what we did was we got lucky on the second trip. First trip, we had some instant tests on the boat. We got those filled out, and that worked out well. Second trip, because we didn't fish, I wasn't able to get that test done on the boat. So we ended up in a little pharmacy off of Cancun, where we got there first thing in the morning. We were some of the first to get tested, and it was real quick and easy. $30. We got the instant test. Results in 15 minutes. They gave us the document, and then you need to take that document to the airport with you, and pre-boarding. I mean, they look at that thing twice before you can get on the plane.
Carolyn.
Well, I have to tell you what happened to me, Mike, because I was traveling with another really pretty girl. They pulled us out from customs, and it took us 3 hours to get through customs. They took us to back rooms we've never been. They went through our toothpaste, makeup, eyeglasses, quizzed us what we were doing, what we did for work, where did we live, and it was totally uncalled for the way they treated us coming back in. It put us in line with immigrants, took us out of the U.S. citizens line. So they never told us why, but we're assuming they thought that trip was a little too short for two pretty girls. So
wow, that's horrible.
Bringing something back in. It took us more time to get through customs than to fly home.
Isn't that crazy?
Oh, got it.
That's why I was asking you.
That's horrible.
Yeah, that's why I was asking you what kind of experience you had. And that's shameful. So it was pretty smooth for you then. Coming and going wasn't too bad.
I had a much easier time. I'm sorry to hear that you went through that.
Yeah.
Oh, it was crazy. I mean, I thought about calling the government a couple times, but you know what? I figured, hey, I got 27 sailfish. I'll just go home and sleep it off. But it was not a pleasant experience coming back, especially when others can just come right in the country with COVID and nothing. But yeah, it was amazing going down. There was an opportunity to do some photos with the new pink lady gear, and I was sad I wasn't there at the same time with you. We were hoping to learn a little bit, and Angelia, which was great, she just crashed me at my house, and we talked about you the other night. We fished off my dock here for a while, and we were going to come crash you and do some sail fishing real soon. But we did, Mike. You're the next target.
You've been warned, my friend.
We had a little we did some major cocktailing and a lot of snook fishing.
Wow, that's awesome. Good for you guys.
She's not being truthful. She wasn't fishing. She was feeding the snook.
Yeah, we were feeding the
Hey,
spook
listen.
and getting drunk.
Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that. That's part of the game.
Oh my
Hey,
goodness!
so just to give you guys a little something though, for your listeners, I'm telling you that when that wind started cranking last Sunday, if you remember when it turned on, it was like 40 knots.
It was crazy.
I managed to get some kooky friends of mine that lived near me to jump on my boat. We had 8 baits, and I kind of had that sense that when the wind picks up like that and it's out of that north quadrant, something good's going to happen. Well, we ran down to Trumps. We ran offshore, and with that north wind, it's real easy to kind of push south. So wind pushed to south, ended up at Trumps, set up the kites, and with 8 baits, now mind you, 8 baits in 45 minutes, all 8 baits are gone. We had 3 sailfish,
Gosh.
two nice mahi, and 3 sharks.
Wow.
And then we were all looking at each other like, okay, now we got to get ourselves home. But it was great. And the whole week has been like that. So we've had this great sailfish bite this week off of Palm Beach. And hopefully it'll continue.
I'm curious, Mike, after a day of fishing like that, how do your muscles feel?
Oh, it's fine. I mean,
It's a workout, isn't it?
We're kind of. It's not really, because you got to remember, we're fishing for these sails. We fish light tackle, so it's really 20-pound test.
Oh my goodness!
I keep the drag fairly light, so we're using like 4 pounds of drag, 5 pounds of drag, and using your thumb and your fingertip on your left hand to kind of add pressure if you need to.
Mm-hmm.
And then we have a lot of line capacity on our reel, so I have 600 yards of 20 on this. On these Valiant Accurates that I use. And what happens is fish will run off with really light drag. They pretty much stay on the surface, so if they're jumping, they exhaust themselves. And then it's a matter of letting them run 1 or 2 times and then, just bowing up to them. We kind of push the boat towards them slowly, wind them in, and the rest is history.
I'm
So
surprised.
it's not as difficult as you might think if the team is working together.
Surprised that it's 20-pound test. I don't know. I just thought it would be heavier than that. That's that. So, have you got anything planned coming up for this coming? We have a. I didn't open up my app. I usually have an app in front of me. I didn't. We got tournaments happening. What have you got going on coming up?
I got a crew we're putting together for the Meat Mayhem tournament next weekend out of Sailfish Marina. That's kind of a big money kingfish event. Wahoo, tuna, meat fish more or less. So it's great to have those right in the middle of sailfish season, because what a lot of people don't realize is as these fish are migrating back north, this is our spring run. So big kingfish and tuna are coming through the area. So that's Saturday. And before that, we'll pre-fish a couple days this week and hopefully figure out where the best of them are.
How many boats do you think will be in that one?
This one's usually a pretty heavy event. I mean, I'm pretty sure it'll be over 60, but I don't know the number.
Wow. And
But,
this is
then the really big tournaments come up after that. I mean, you're talking about the Big Dog Fat Cat. They're projecting 250 boats.
Mm-hmm.
Really incredible tournaments coming up after this one.
Did they have?
Yeah, and you know what's exciting, Mike? I might be a lady angler next weekend on a 34 CV. They're trying to put together a team for the Meat Mayhem, so I'll let you know. I hope to be out on Realisy.
Are you going?
Well, then that's great. Yeah, let's stay in touch, and we'll share some information.
Are you going to be in the same one he's in, Carolyn?
Yeah, next week is a Meat Mayhem. I just got invited to be a lady angler. Guys fished last weekend, and Big Dog Fat Cat is a great tournament. Also, I always donated trackers for animal, a lot of animal adoptions and eye care and good things like that. That's an awesome tournament as well. Usually I volunteer, but I'll try and get into that one too. But yeah, I'd love to fish against you, Mike. That would be awesome.
Oh yeah, we'll be in touch.
There's going to be some real competition now. So that one, I'm sure you're polishing up, if you will, the kites. Getting the kites ready for that one.
Well, let me tell you something. We, fishing in the winds that we fished this week, it'll stress your tackle. Trust me. So I lost a couple kites. I actually put an APB out this week on what people are recommending is the best, most abrasion-resistant braid. I mean, we're getting to the point where we stress these kites out so badly in these big winds. that, the braid, it takes a toll on the braid, tournament after tournament after tournament. So even as much as I fish with kites, the more I learn about how to preserve, because, really when you lose them, if you break a line or a kite falls into the water, we have a little safety, check and balance balloon that we put on the back of them. So the balloon keeps the kite floating. You can always retrieve your kite. But when the wind is blowing this hard and you lose the line, follow me on this, the line breaks with clips on it. So you get your release clips on it. That adds weight. The line itself adds weight. It's almost like it creates its own tension. The kite just flies away. Wow. It never lands back in the water.
Wow.
So this week I watched 2 kites break, break off and fly off into the distance. We had one Friday before last, and the winds were light, so I had a helium balloon on it. And my buddy and I just watched it fly over Trump's flag, right over Trump's house, Mar-a-Lago.
Oh my goodness.
That was one of my, hail to the chief kind of thing. I'm sure they saw this balloon flying over top of their thing, wondering what's going on here.
Instead of keep the change, keep the kite.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
Wow. Well, Mike, we're at that point again. So this is what happens when we're having a good time, and it literally flies by. I can't believe how quickly I went. I want to thank you, my friend, for taking time to call and share with us this morning. And I wish you tight lines this tournament coming up next Sunday. And be looking forward to having you on and giving us an update about that. Let me give Carolyn an opportunity to say goodbye to you. Wish you an awesome day, my friend. Go ahead, Carolyn.
Yeah, absolutely. And if I don't get into the tournament, I'll make sure I meet you guys at the weigh-in to see what you guys are weighing in.
That'd be great. Hey, it's always great talking to you guys. Have a great week.
God bless you, my friend.
Right, have a great day.
Here we go.
Thanks.
You're listening to the Fishing in Florida show. We'll be right back.
You're listening to the Fishing in Florida show with your host, Scala Stevens. Don't go away. We'll be right back.
Thinking of moving? Before you do anything else, call Diane Whittick. She provides a concierge service. Things like having your home or condo packed and shipped, even take care of your home repairs or upgrades. Diane has the expertise to get it done. As a seller, you will have constant contact. She will furnish you with bids on any services that might need completion: air conditioning, plumbing, handyman, and even cleaning. Living up north and have a home to sell here in South Florida? Just give her the keys, address, and a signature. Your payment will be wired when the property is sold. That's right, Diane does it all. Thinking of buying? Diane has great listening skills. Tell her what you want, give her your budget, and like a genie, she will make your real estate wish come true. There's no regrets when you choose Diane Whittick. To reach Diane, call 561-247-5478. That's 561-247-5478.
Do you need toner for your Epson, Hewlett-Packard, Canon, Brother, Apple, or Sharp printers? Look no further than Laser Technologies. In business for over 20 years, they offer the lowest prices on toner on the web. They can also repair your laser printers and toners fast and easy. Call their expert staff today at 561-792-9600 or email us at service@laser-technologies.com for all your toner needs. All toner is shipped nationwide. Why wait? Get the lowest prices on toner. Call or email us today.
Do you have an unusual pet? Did you know that the Rainforest Clinic in Loxahatchee specializes in exotic pets? They see pets that other vets don't. Parrots and chickens, ducks, geese, turtles, snakes, goats, pigs, lizards, and even monkeys. Are you a beekeeper? Dr. Clubb, the first of her kind in the area? Yes, she takes care of bees as well. Dr. Susan Clubb has decades of experience and known around the world for her reputation as a premier avian vet. Located at 3319 E Road in Loxahatchee, just a short distance north of Okeechobee Road, you will find a modern clinic with in-house labs, which allow you to get your test answers quickly. You can find them online at www.susanclubb.com. That's www.susanclubb.com. Or you can reach her at 561-795-4878. It's Dr. Susan Clubb. That's 561-795-4878. The Rainforest Clinic located in Loxahatchee. 561-795-4878.
GTG, BRB, OMW, be there in a few. You may think that these kinds of texts are fine because of their length, and you can easily send them at a stoplight. But no, answering one text can take your attention away from the road for 5 seconds. And traveling at 55 miles an hour, that's enough time to travel the length of a football field. Make good decisions, don't text and drive.
While other stations just talk a good game, we win it.
Hey, sounds like somebody's having a lot of fun.
Oh, I grab my fishing pole and cast it in the water. I fish until dawn. Oh my, I caught a shark. I'm fishing and blowing on when the sun shines all day. They call me a grouper. So I'm fishing and blowing on. Oh yeah, fishing and blowing on.
Good morning from the Sunshine State. Broadcasting from Palm Beach County, it's the Fishing in Florida Show. Sundays from 8 to 10 a.m. on the WCET FM network. And now, here's your host, Riscala.
All right, we are back, and we are on the new network. It is the Trim Radio Network. I'll have to fix that. I thought we took care of all of that. It got by me. That's the old network. We are on the new network, and of course there's going to be some new ways to listen to us, and I hope that most of you have found those ways. We've done our best to get the word out. The easiest way to listen to us right now is if you're on Facebook, just go to our Fishing in Florida show, click on Contact Us, and you'll be connected to the live server. The next easiest way is to go to our website, which is WTRMradio.com, and we have a player there. Now, if you have the TuneIn app, then you can go to Marina Rock, and big thank you to Marina Rock. They are on the TuneIn app, so if you have the TuneIn app and go to Marina Rock, you'll be able to find us there as well. The app will be out, I'm keeping my fingers crossed, this week, so we'll have the app. Of course, it will be free, and as always, it will be no spyware, no adware, no push notifications, just the easiest way that I know of to listen to the station. And let's see, what else have we got going on? If you go over to Facebook and look for WTRM Radio, you'll find that we have a page there. Give us a like. It makes us relevant in the searches. And you'll also see, I think, excuse me, they're putting up the schedule now. So there'll be a schedule of all the different shows that we'll be on. So let me welcome back my co-host. That is Carolyn. She's with Atlas Trax. And if you want to protect what you love to the max, you got to talk to my friend over there at Atlas Trax. Welcome back.
Well, good to be back again, Riscala, too. And a funny story, I was with Mike Simko. I was scheduled to fly with those guys, and they gave me a 3-hour notice that I was going with them. So, unfortunately, that didn't work out with them, and I delayed my trip a couple days. But I'll tell you, I wanted to fish with him really badly.
Well, you'll have an opportunity to fish against him this coming weekend. And I think we have Trae with Big Dog Tackle on. Good morning, sir. How are you? And welcome.
I'm doing fantastic. How you guys doing?
Yeah, not bad with that time change. It took me a couple more minutes to shake my head a little bit. So.
Got to get that coffee a little earlier. That's all.
Yeah, absolutely. Welcome to the new network we're on, and always good to have you on, Trae.
I heard that. Congratulations.
Well, thank you. Yeah, this is going to be a big change for us. We're going to have, I think we'll be doing a lot better on this network than the last network. We've upgraded the connections, so we should be getting a better sound output on this network than the last network. So, kind of good things all the way around. And I wanted you're one of the first. This morning is our first show on this new network, so you're one of the first to be on the new network. So welcome. And tell me a little bit about what's going on. What do you see happening with regard to the fishing report?
Fishing report. Well, we're coming into the best time of the year for fishing. April tends to be the best month as far as all the different species are right here off the east coast of Florida. Whether it's the blackfin tuna, kingfish, wahoo, the sailfish bite has been hot. Finally, it's, all season, usually the winter months are the sailfish bite, but it just started picking up about 3 weeks ago. So I think this time of year is the best time to get out there and go fishing.
What kind of requests have you had for bait? What do you seem to be selling a lot of?
What do we sell a lot of? We sell a lot of everything, because we don't just cater to the offshore guys. We cater to the inshore guys and the bottom fishermen and the deep dropping. For a little while there, the swordfish bite was really hot. So those guys buy a lot of deep drop baits like rigged squids and rigged bonita strips and those types of baits, which have a bigger hook and heavier leader. And then you have the offshore guys. A lot of these guys troll planers. Planers is a very effective way of fishing, and it's a metal plate that you attach to your line. And what it does, it has a weight on the front, so it brings your bait under the surface about 40 feet, kind of like a rudder. So, you get baits not only spread across widthwise from your boat with outriggers, but your downriggers, which are the planer, will get your bait down, so you have a bigger area that you're cover. So a lot of these baits are, ballyhoo, bonita strips, rigged squids. A lot of the bottom fishermen or deep drop guys, they're buying boxes of squid. And actually, right now, I'm getting reports that the yellowfin bite is starting to go off on the other side of the Gulf Stream in the Bahamas.
Wow.
Yeah. So that's very exciting.
Yeah, and Trae, I haven't seen you. I was out of town. Did you fish the Jimmy Johnson tournament?
Oh, yeah, we fished the Jimmy Johnson for sure every year.
That was the one I was trying to think of.
Oh, we had a great time. Actually, this year was our first year that Big Dog Tackle actually was a sponsor of the Jimmy Johnson, so it was a fantastic event. And we were busy the whole time with fishing and doing events, and it was just a great time. I mean, it's a top-notch event. All the top boats are fishing that tournament. And we always go down to Ocean Reef because we see it as this is our annual trip. Me and a few buddies, we go fishing in the Jimmy Johnson, and we always tend to go out at Ocean Reef just because it used to be based out of Ocean Reef, but now they've spread it across 4 inlets all the way up to Sailfish Marina in West Palm. So I think it's kind of like a double-edged sword when you change the tournaments around like that, because a lot of the Miami and Keys boats won't fish it because the territory spreads so big, but it opens it up to, the guys in Palm Beach County and Broward County. They don't have to spend all that money on hotels to go down to the Keys. They can do it right out of their backyard. So, but it's a great tournament, and we had a great time. We saw a lot of fish. We caught a lot of fish, and it's funny. We talk about the tunas. Our captains were fishing a 68 Viking, which is amazing. And our captain was up in the tower, and he saw 3 bluefins cruising by really fast.
Wow.
And these are fish that are like 300, 400, 500 pounds that are
holy smokes,
probably 10, 15 knots. They weren't stopping. They were on a mission. They were moving. So there was no chance we were going to hook up with one of those.
Wow.
But, yeah, totally amazing.
So here's what's really cool. So because Trae has one of my Atlas Trax trackers, he just threw it in his duffel bag and took it with him. So you were using that tracker on that Viking?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we had it the whole time. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I try to bring the tracker wherever we go so we can see the map of our trips.
Awesome stuff.
So now he can go back and right, Carolyn? Now he can go back. He can see exactly where they were, I guess, at the time and everything, right?
Yeah, he can log on to his account. He can see the whole route they did, everywhere they went that day. He can hover over his tracks and see what time he was where, how many miles so far.
That's outrageous.
What heading he was doing.
I love
and
it.
a couple times, he had me. Trae had me check in, and I saw that boat sitting at the dock by the pool in Ocean Reef. So.
It's hard to pass up that pool bar. It's so tempting.
Yeah, so I know where you were.
The technology is just amazing. Wow. Well, I'm glad that you do take those with you, because you never know. We don't want anything bad to happen, but you never know. We wear seatbelts for a reason. We're not planning on having an accident, but you never know. And so,
oh yeah, if anybody doesn't have an Atlas Trax, they need to definitely look into getting one from Carolyn, because you have your friends, your family, your kids, on the boat.
Peace of mind.
And, you're out there a few miles. What are you going to do?
Peace of mind. And this is like when something happens out there on the ocean and they go looking for you, it is literally like trying to find a needle in a haystack. People sometimes don't realize, God forbid you go overboard. If you're not picked up pretty quick, it's heck for them to find you. And with something like this on you, and it's waterproof, right, Carolyn? The ones we're talking about anyway, the portable ones, they're waterproof, right? Like 2 feet down? 2 feet, 3 feet?
They're all waterproof, and they'll even report up to 2 to 3 feet down.
That's what it is.
We had a case where a kid ran out of gas not too long ago, and the father was able to go bring a gas can and find him pretty easily. And, that's a super peace of mind, even something simple like that.
Yeah. Yeah. Always something to consider. Like I said with the seatbelt thing, we get in the car, we put a seatbelt on. We don't want to have an accident. We just in case. You don't know. And the same thing with when you're out there on the ocean. You never know. We hope and pray that everything goes well. I mean, all the time that I went out there, I was very fortunate. We never really had any major issues. There was one time we were coming in government cut and my engine quit on me. I couldn't figure out what was going on. Meanwhile, these big ocean liners are coming in behind us. Oh, my gosh. You talk about a wave behind them. Lord have mercy. So finally we got it running and got it out of there. But, I mean, nothing really serious. If the worst would have happened, we would have ended up on the side of government cut and we would have been on land. It's a lot better than being out in the middle of the ocean. So, it's like I said, you wear a seatbelt not because you want to have an accident, but because you want to be safe. Take a Atlas Trax with you, not because you want something to happen. It's just in case. And it's my gosh, it's the peace of mind that you get with it. Within 10 feet, I mean, the technology, I'm always crazy about the technology part. Within 10 feet of anywhere on the planet, it's absolutely portable. So you one person to another, from one vehicle to another. Can't say enough about that portable one. I really enjoy that one. So what do you got planned coming up, Trae? I know this. What is it? What was it called, Carolyn? The meet. This.
Oh, the meet in Palm Beach. Yeah.
Yeah. Are you in that one too?
I'm not sure if we're going to fish that one. We fish a lot of the SKA tournaments, which are the Kingfish Association, and they are not one of them this year. We may fish them, but I'm not sure what we're going to do with that one. But there are a lot of tournaments that we're going to be fishing coming up.
How has just curiosity, how has your business been? Have they let up on the restrictions of the masks where you are? Or is it still the same?
So the masks, it seems that they're loosening up on outside areas.
Mm-hmm.
So I know that at some locations that I've gone to, they've said that if you're outdoors at our facility, you don't have to wear them.
Good.
But if you're indoors, you still have to wear them. And then also the staff is wearing them outside as well. But they're loosening up a lot, and I think the more these vaccines go out, the more people will feel comfortable, and it's going to, overall, I think we're getting to a better place for sure.
I know that for a while there, I don't know of many people who didn't suffer some degree of what's going on with all the restrictions. Are you seeing your business come back now, like, prior to all of this insanity?
Yeah, the business is definitely doing well, and I think a lot of people are just taking advantage of being outdoors as opposed to being indoors.
Yep.
I feel really bad for the movie theaters and the travel companies and those types of businesses, but I think the outdoor type businesses and the workout businesses, the RV type travel businesses have been very successful.
Good
and
point.
From a humanity standpoint, it's nice because people are getting back to the outdoors instead of sitting behind a TV.
Yeah.
So much.
Yeah. And today's a gorgeous day. Today's going to be an absolutely wonderful day to be out there and enjoying what we've got. Carolyn, I think I said something over. Carolyn, were you trying to say something?
No, I just wanted to ask Trae if he's got any more of his awesome parking lot tent events coming up at Big Dog Tackle, because I'll tell you, it's a tackle store where, for our listeners, it's a tackle store where even if you're not going to shop or something, you go hang out, swing by, chit chat with everyone in the store. It's a social place to go. So, do you have anything coming up, Trae?
The local hangout.
Sales, anything?
Well, we don't have anything scheduled yet, but we have done a couple of captains meetings during the COVID, and we're trying to keep it a little low key. But as soon as we are comfortable with getting another event going and it's socially acceptable, the events are going to be off the charts. We're going to be doing a lot of events, a lot of fun stuff. I don't know if you guys saw last year pre-COVID, we had a roller skating night where we did an 80s theme, and we had 50 people out at the roller skating rink. So those are kind of things we also do just to bring the community together, you know?
Yeah. I think I was a teenager the last time I went roller skating. Oh my gosh, I remember those days and going in the circle. Of course, I was the guy that was always going against the flow, and the guys in the middle, the guys, I don't know what you call them, they're always blowing the whistle. Hey, come on, go around the other way. What are you doing?
Sounds like a typical fisherman going against the current.
Been a long time. That's awesome. That's awesome that you did that. Wow. Go ahead, girl.
Yeah. So we have some sandbar events and different events planned that we have ready to go. We're just waiting for the right time.
And, I know Nicole came up with a great idea last year, too, and she wants to put together, which I'm happy to help, a little ladies seminar in the parking lot where we can do some Bloody Marys, have the guys and some of the girls come in and show us how to tie some knots. You need to do maybe some casting in the parking lot with some fly gear.
Wow.
And I think that would be a really cool idea, too, and bring the ladies out. And the boys can come, too, but, kind of focus on letting us do some hands-on a little bit more would be an awesome idea.
Oh, yeah, that's definitely in the works. And as far as the ladies' night, you got to have wine involved. There's going to be wine, not tying. There's going to be hors d'oeuvres. And I think Nicole has planned that, the guys are going to dress up in their little tuxedos and walk around with the platters to hand out to serve the women all night, because the women already know how to tie better knots and rig better than the guys. So
yeah, and you know for sure we've got Carol with Mermaid Vodka. She'll get involved and get some vodkas over there too, and we'll support another small woman-owned business as well. So let's get it done when we can.
See, Rascala, it's all about who you know.
I'm telling you, it's awesome. I love hearing this. All right, well, this is what happens. We're rapidly running out of time. Anything you want to share with us before we go on to the next break?
Yeah, I just want to add a piece of positive news, a quick one, how we talk about giving back to the community and everything that everybody does, and how the fishing community is really great. I have a young man, 10 years old, and it's funny. I saw on Facebook through one of my friends, they were looking for somebody to take this young man fishing, and he's battling brain cancer. And I instantly reached out, and we got his trip scheduled for next week. And we're going to be taking him and his parents fishing because he's been fighting this cancer. And, God forbid if the results are not, ideal, they're trying to get in as much fun as possible. So that's what we're going to be doing here pretty soon.
Wow, that's heartwarming. Thank you, Trae. That is really heartwarming. It's testimony to the fishing community here. And I'm sure it's similar in other places, but I know here in South Florida because I experience it. I hear stories like what you're telling me, and there's many of us, I say us, many people, many fisher people, many anglers who really do reach out and they give back, and it's awesome. It's really heartwarming to hear that. Thank you, Trae.
Yeah, my pleasure.
Tell us the hours of the store for our local listeners that can come in. What is the days and the hours of the store?
24/7.
Yeah, pretty much.
24/7.
So Big Dog. Yeah, we're open 7 days a week, and we open at 6 o'clock in the morning, so early enough for most people to come by and, get any last-minute needs like bait or terminal tackle, or maybe you forgot a box of squid. So we're open 7 days a week, even Sundays, and we're open till 8 p.m. at night. And we're pretty much full service. And if you have some rods that have been laying around in your garage for, years, bring them in, and we'll rig them up. We'll re-spool them. We'll get them all set up for you. We'll help you pick out some tackle that'll help you catch some fish and have a good time on the water.
Hot dog.
And we're located at 1440 North Federal Highway in Pompano Beach. And you can find us on the internet at bigdogtackle.com.
God bless you, my friend. Go ahead, Carolyn. We'll go to break.
tight lines, and have a great day. We'll see you soon.
All right, you guys too. Thank you very much. Always a pleasure.
All right. Thank you.
Grab my fishing pole and cast it in the water. I fish until dawn. Oh my, I caught a shark. I'm fishing in Florida where the sun shines all day.
Do you own a laser printer, copier, or a fax? Well then, listen close to this announcement. Laser Technologies has been providing high-quality, frustration-free toner cartridges that are guaranteed not to harm your equipment for over 20 years. Laser Technologies will save you on your supplies with high-quality and fast delivery. Savings up to 50%. Laser Technologies supplies toner, imaging drums, developer, and cartridges for most of the major brands. For a price quote, send an email to service@laser-technologies.com. Include your printer make and model for your part number. Call us at 561-792-9600. That's 561-792-9600. Laser Technologies, providing 100% of the quality at a fraction of the price. 561-792-9600.
Do you have an unusual pet? Did you know that the Rainforest Clinic in Loxahatchee specializes in exotic pets? They see pets that other vets don't. Parrots and chickens, ducks, geese, turtles, snakes, goats, pigs, lizards, and even monkeys. Are you a beekeeper? Dr. Clubb, the first of her kind in the area? Yes, she takes care of bees as well. Dr. Susan Clubb has decades of experience and known around the world for her reputation as a premier avian vet. Located at 3319 E Road in Loxahatchee, just a short distance north of Okeechobee Road, you will find a modern clinic with in-house labs, which allow you to get your test answers quickly. You can find them online at www.susanclubb.com. That's www.susanclubb.com. Or you can reach her at 561-795-4878. It's Dr. Susan Clubb. That's 561-795-4878. The Rainforest Clinic located in Loxahatchee. 561-795-4878. Thinking of moving? Before you do anything else, call Diane Whittick. She provides a concierge service. Things like having your home or condo packed and shipped, even take care of your home repairs or upgrades. Diane has the expertise to get it done. As a seller, you will have constant contact. She will furnish you with bids on any services that might need completion. Air conditioning, plumbing, handyman, and even cleaning. Living up north and have a home to sell here in South Florida? Just give her the keys, address, and a signature. Your payment will be wired when the property is sold. That's right, Diane does it all. Thinking of buying? Diane has great listening skills. Tell her what you want, give her your budget, and like a genie, she will make your real estate wish come true. There's no regrets when you choose Diane Whittick. To reach Diane, call 561-247-5478. That's 561-247-5478.
Do you own a laser printer, copier, or a fax? Well then, listen close to this announcement. Laser Technologies has been providing high-quality, frustration-free toner cartridges that are guaranteed not to harm your equipment for over 20 years. Laser Technologies will save you on your supplies with high-quality and fast delivery. Savings up to 50%. Laser Technologies supplies toner, imaging drums, developer, and cartridges for most of the major brands. For a price quote, send an email to service@laser-technologies.com. Include your printer make and model for your part number. Call us at 561-792-9600. That's 561-792-9600. Laser Technologies, providing 100% of the quality at a fraction of the price. 561-792-9600.
While other stations just talk a good game, we win it.
Hey, sounds like somebody's having a lot of fun.
I grab my fishing pole and cast it in the water. I fish until dawn. Oh my, I caught a shark. I'm fishing in Florida where the sun shines all day. I just caught me a grouper.
You're listening to the Fishing in Florida show every Sunday morning from 8 to 10 on the WCET radio network. And now, from the Sunshine State, transmitting from Palm Beach County off the southeastern coast of Florida, your host, Riscala.
Good morning. And if you missed any part of the show, we will have archives set up. None of that has changed. And the easiest way to find the archives is if you go to our Facebook page. I got them up on YouTube, but for the life of me, if you put Fishing in Florida in as a query, you'll get a bazillion results, and not one of them is us. So the easiest way that I can figure out for people to find them, I don't get a lot of people watching the archives, but if you're interested, if you go over to the Facebook page on Fishing in Florida, you'll see there's a link for the archives there as well. This morning I have Carolyn with me, and Carolyn is with Atlas Trax. If you want to protect what you love to the max, you got to talk to my friend over there at Atlas Trax, Miss Carolyn. Welcome back.
Well, thank you so much, Riscala. I'm so excited about every Sunday with you.
Well, I'm so grateful that you take the time out and help me do it. It's really a pleasure to have you on board and do your part. Sometimes it's hard to. I can't think of the right word. It's hard, no matter how hard I try. I can't think of the right word right now. I'm still trying to wake up from this. Losing that hour is like, holy smokes, man. Especially when I was up to normally I'd be up to midnight, but because of last night's what happened, it wasn't midnight when I went to bed. It was 1 o'clock. And by the time I got to sleep, it was like, I don't know, about 2 o'clock. It was just one of those nights where I didn't get not a whole lot accomplished with regard to getting any sleep. So as soon as the show's over, I think I'll probably take a nap.
I'm going to be doing the same thing, and I'll tell you what happened. Last weekend, Chris went shooting up in Okeechobee, and his alarm was set for 5 o'clock in the morning. Well, that alarm went off today at 5.
Oh my gosh!
I jumped up, went ran in the kitchen. The clock said 4. I had no idea what the hell was going on. So so I lost a few hours ago, and I'm here. I'm taking that nap next too.
Oh my goodness! Yeah, I've had one of those. Friday? I think it was Friday. I was exhausted, and decided I was going to take a little nap. It was about 4 o'clock in the afternoon. I set my timer off for 40 minutes. I didn't want to sleep anymore. Typically a nap for me is 20 minutes. But sometimes, I'm really exhausted. I'm getting up there in the age. So the timer goes off, the 40-minute timer goes off. But when I look down at my clock, it says the alarm is going off. I'm waking up in that moment of just, you're still asleep and you're waking up. You're right in that moment in between. And I'm thinking to myself, oh my gosh, I missed a whole day at work. I'm thinking it's like it's Thursday and I'm waking up it's Thursday. It's Friday morning and I'm waking up in the morning and I've already missed all these. It was crazy. That went on for about 30 seconds before I realized, you big silly. I don't know if that's ever happened to you, where you wake up and particularly on what's coming up on the longer days today now. If you take a nap, you intend to be a nap, and you end up going to sleep for a couple of hours, and you wake up, and instead of it being dark, now it looks like morning. You wake up, oh my gosh, it's the morning. And you look at the clock, it's 7 o'clock, and you think it's 7 o'clock in the morning. Yeah, that's some of the crazy stuff that I go through.
100%, and I'll tell you, I'm up there in age, and the only thing I think of when that happens is, holy cow, did I miss the school bus? And I'm like, what? Wait a minute.
I've had a couple of mornings, especially in this last year with all this insanity with this virus and stuff. I had a couple of mornings I woke up, oh gosh, I think I'll go back to sleep. This is crazy. So let me ask you about the latest and greatest now. I know that you've been increasing your capacity to be able to help people in a variety of different areas. We talk about the Atlas Trax, the portable tracker, which is one of my favorite things. But I think, are you working on some new things now, or what's going on in there?
Yeah, so we're working on a whole bunch of things. So we've got that small little tracker, which is very popular. I mean, I have people drive to my house to get them same day, which is great. We've got a solar tracker, which is being used on some of the bigger boats like Trae was on, that can be powered totally by the sun.
Wow.
Takes that footprint of batteries out of the equation, so you don't have to replace batteries, and that's perfect for boats going to the Bahamas for a very long time. That's very popular, and even on trailers. We have some horse trailers that are putting those solar trackers right on top because they're hard to see for stealing, but they're also continually recharging. So that's a little bit exciting for us. Boat alarms, business is picking up huge because even last week, somebody came by kayak and got onto a big sport fish, spent at least 10 minutes on that boat disassembling fishing gear and putting it back in the back in the kayak. So, a lot of good a Ring camera does when you're watching that person steal your stuff the next day.
Yeah.
So boat alarms for all size boats, for trailers are really picking up. We're excited about that. Of course, we have the cellular trackers that people can put in, individual cars or fleet vehicles. And I added all other safety equipment. I'm very lucky if someone comes to me, they can get emergency beacons, they can get full life rafts now, electronic spotlights, night vision cameras, communications equipment, satellite phones, hotspots. We have a new hotspot that we're doing real well with that's on the Iridium satellites, and that allows you to use your existing phone for voice, text, browsing. It has an SOS button, and it has the ability to even track. So we're really excited about adding it. It's called the Iridium Go, and it's for less than $800. You've got up to 8 people can connect to this device.
And how much is it a month? It's very affordable, right? It's like $50 or $60 or something a month.
Yeah. It's about $60 a month for that device. And I'll tell you what's exciting about even satellite phones now. You can get a satellite phone now that does have SOS buttons, does have tracking on it, and you can get local numbers, which doesn't ever happen. What that means is if I have a 954 area code and people are calling me, I'm not being charged for the calls. They're not being charged for the calls. Texting in is free. So it's really making satellite service affordable, where in the past you might have a $100, $200 satellite bill a month.
It was expensive.
Now you can get satellite service for like $60.
Yeah, it was quite expensive. I spoke with a friend of mine who was traveling overseas, and he had one. I couldn't believe, oh my gosh, it was almost a mortgage payment by the time he got back. It was $400 or $500 by the time he got back with all the calling that they were doing. I like the hotspot thing because even you can be on land, and there's places on land where you have dead spots, and if you're in I think of like in the mountains. Like when we were going through the mountains, I took my kids up to West Virginia. Some of the most beautiful country up there. I couldn't believe how gorgeous some of the places were that we went. But when we got down the side of the mountains, we couldn't make any calls, couldn't receive any calls, couldn't get texts, couldn't do any of that. And sometimes we'd be, visiting with people. We'd be down there for several hours. So if somebody was trying to reach us, it just wasn't going to happen. We had to wait until we got back out again. So if we had something like that with us, that would enable us, that would give us that option and be able to use it. And that's the thing I like. You still use your phone. You don't change anything. Everything still is the same. You just wirelessly into this little box, and it allows you to use the satellite system, which is really cool.
Absolutely. Whether it be in the mountain, we've got some friends canoeing down the Swanee River, which is northwest Florida right now, and they've got no phone communications. We've got Angelia who's heading out to Colorado. This is perfect for something like that. But it's, safety and communications. And usually, everyone's out having a good time, and guess who's the ones worrying or the ones home. So, it's a really good peace of mind. And I'll tell you a story. We went down where Mike was on a 62 Viking that had full satellite and communications and printers on board. And we ended up using the hotspot because it was way cheaper. We could put it right out in the back of the boat and make the connections to call home. And otherwise, using boat satellite equipment would have been $2,000 just for the month they were there.
That's a nice bill, right? I wouldn't want to be the one who got that bill. My goodness. So between the hot box and between the tracker. Did I hear you say something about apparel now? You've got apparel. This is for the fishing team?
Yeah, this is pretty amazing. So Wayne Jenkins, who owns Real Captivating, which is the boat that Mike and I fish, that 62 Viking, has an apparel company that's run by his brother Eric. They came up with a very strong mermaid logo for us in support of our breast cancer team. And they have actually started selling it on their apparel website. So if people want to get some beautiful long sleeve and tank tops and water bottles, well, they called us the Pink Ladies, and a portion of that goes back to charity. But if they go to realcaptivating.com and they click on collections and Pink Ladies, they can see our story, videos of us fishing, all of our apparel. And it was totally done by the kindness of their heart to help raise some funds for us. And they had also lost their mother to breast cancer as well. So it's a really nice thing that they've done. And they actually paid for our trip all the way down to Mexico to fish that whole 3-day trip.
Awesome. And Real Captivating is REEL, is that correct? Like
That's
fishing
correct.
reel.
So Real Captivating is Real Captivating Apparel. They also have that big sport fish team that's Real Captivating. They go out and they tournament fish. A lot of these big tournaments as far as away as Bermuda. They took that boat to Mexico for the month. They go to St. Thomas. But real good folks. And, we'll get you on that boat out of Sailfish at some point. But they totally launched this clothing line for us, for the Pink Ladies, which I appreciate it. But you can go to realcaptivating.com and click on collections and click on Pink Ladies. You'll see all of us right there.
And there's a portion of that goes back to the survivors or to the research for more cancer?
That's a very good question. What they're going to do is make a little money jar for us, and we're gonna pick some awesome local charities, whether it be breast cancer survivors that might need some help. Maybe it's a humane society that might need some help at that time. We could have, if the orders from the customers are big enough, we'll have them choose where they'd like the money to go. So it's a really good project where people can get some really good UV gear, protect themselves from sun and sun cancer and things like that, and help out local communities. So we're very excited, and it was all done out of the kindness of Wayne and Eric to come up with these things for us and allow us to have this clothing line.
That's heartwarming. Again, it's testimonial to the fishing community here in South Florida, where they're constantly reaching out, giving back. It's a win-win situation. You get...
Yeah, and I'll tell you how wonderful this gentleman is. I mean, you know from experience, you needed some work done on your seats on your jet skis.
Yeah.
And brought him over to a speed shop, and he had his team cover everything for you and just said, here you go. So, very generous. Wayne Jenkins is an extremely generous man with Real Captivating, and Captive One is his insurance business that he does. He's a very generous family.
Well, it's really it was a pleasure to even. I've never met the guy. The guy out of the clear blue, he allowed his guys to fix my jet skis seats which were atrocious. They had been sitting in the sun, literally bleaching away, and they made them look literally like brand new, and wouldn't accept anything other than a thank you. That's all I could give him at that point. Really nice people. It's an honor to know that there's people like that out there. They go out of their way. He didn't gain anything by doing what he did for me. I never promised him I would announce or say. The only reason I'm saying now is because of Carolyn. So he wasn't expecting anything back. This was just out of the kindness of his heart. I needed somebody to do this for me, and he happened to have some people that could do it, and he did it. It was, again, it's just a testimonial to the kind of people that we have that are involved in the fishing community here in South Florida. Win-win, give back. Everybody wins. I love it. I love it when we do something where everybody wins. This apparel, you buy the apparel, you get what you find something that is pleasing to your eye, so you buy that, you feel good about it, and you wear it, and you know that a part of that you paid to get that goes back to help somebody else. These tournaments where the Chasing Tails tournaments, Summer Warren, where you get involved into a tournament, you get to go fishing, you get to enjoy yourself. You may win, you may win some money, you may not win any money, but the knowledge of knowing that your involvement in that tournament is actually reaching out and helping someone else in some small way, because the proceeds from that tournament, they reach out and find families that are in need, and they provide that need for those families. That's just one. There's so many others, and I can give you example after example.
I wanted to say, just real back to the apparel line, is what's so fun about it is you can put your name on the back and customize the shirt.
Oh, that's cool.
And if you're doing it in memory of someone, or if you're a survivor, you can put that on the front. It says Atlas Trax down the arm and Real Captivating down the other arm. But I see girls, we're getting photos from gals from San Diego, and, you know, they're showing the back of their names on the back of the shirts, and, you know, someone knows a survivor or someone that's lost their life with it, and it's just fun to have, you know, your name on the back of a real cool zippered jersey. And so yeah, check it out. It's just a good heartwarming, like you said, the fishing community, summer worn with chasing tails, big dog fat cat is helping animals. Really, really good folks.
It's an honor to be whatever microscopic part it is that we do. It really is an honor to be able to be a part of that, because we're giving back and we know that people are winning, especially particularly in this last year. So many people have lost. So many people have lost so much over this last year. So there's always, it's a heartwarming thing to know that there's somebody out there willing to give back. And that's where it's at with us. All right, we're going to take a quick break and we'll be back. Hopefully when I get back, we'll have Shaughn Miller on. I don't know if he's going to, everybody's whacked out with this 1 hour thing. So I really wish they'd stop. Just, the days get longer by themselves. The days get shorter by themselves. They don't need our help. Just leave it alone.
Yeah, absolutely. You know what? I'll put a text out to Shaughn, and here's something really funny. I just got a text from a customer that says, "Hey, I'm going fishing. Keep your eyes on me."
Oh, my God. See, there you go. Peace of mind. I mean, how much money can you put on peace of mind? All right, here we go.
You're listening to the Fishing in Florida show. We'll be right back.
When it comes to parenting, there are no perfect answers. But that's okay, because you don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Teens in foster care will love you just the same.
For more information on adoption, visit adoptuskids.org. A message from the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Adopt U.S. Kids, and the Ad Council.
Want to give your pet the celebrity treatment? Have you heard of Holly Wolf Pet Grooming and Care in Royal Palm Beach? They're located just off State Road 7 and have been servicing the area for 14 years. Holly Wolf Pet Grooming and Care is the home of the Blueberry Facial, also specializing in tartar removal with 8 years of assisting in dental procedures. Holly Wolf Pet Grooming and Care? They're more than just about dogs. They are the only experienced cat groomer in the area. They also cater to all breeds and sizes and open 6 days a week. Holly Wolf Pet Grooming and Care, located just north of the Super Walmart in Royal Palm Beach. You can find them at 250 Business Parkway. They specialize in shampoos with no extra charge. Flea and tick dips also available. Holly Wolf Pet Grooming and Care. You can give them a call at 561-793-9992. They also provide gift certificates for those looking for that special present. Holly Wolf Pet Grooming and Care. 561-793-9992. They're located in Royal Palm Beach. That number, 561-793-9992. Call for your appointment today.
Do you own a laser printer, copier, or a fax? Well then, listen close to this announcement. Laser Technologies has been providing high-quality, frustration-free toner cartridges that are guaranteed not to harm your equipment for over 20 years. Laser Technologies will save you on your supplies with high quality and fast delivery. Savings up to 50%. Laser Technologies supplies toner, imaging drums, developer and cartridges for most of the major brands. For a price quote, send an email to service@laser-technologies.com. Include your printer make and model for your part number. Call us at 561-792-9600. That's 561-792-9600. Laser Technologies, providing 100% of the quality at a fraction of the price. 561-792-9600.
Do you have an unusual pet? Did you know that the Rainforest Clinic in Loxahatchee specializes in exotic pets? They see pets that other vets don't. Parrots and chickens, ducks, geese, turtles, snakes, goats, pigs, lizards, and even monkeys. Are you a beekeeper? Dr. Clubb, the first of her kind in the area? Yes, she takes care of bees as well. Dr. Susan Clubb has decades of experience and known around the world for her reputation as a premier avian vet. Located at 3319 E Road in Loxahatchee, just a short distance north of Okeechobee Road, you will find a modern clinic with in-house labs, which allow you to get your test answers quickly. You can find them online at www.susanclub.com. That's www.susanclub.com. www.susanclubb.com. Or you can reach her at 561-795-4878. It's Dr. Susan Clubb. That's 561-795-4878. The Rainforest Clinic located in Loxahatchee. 561-795-4878.
While other stations just talk a good game, we win it.
Hey, sounds like somebody's having a lot of fun.
This station is now the ultimate power in the universe.
We have ignition. Strap in. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
I grab my fishing pole and cast it in the water. I fish until dawn. Oh my, I caught a shark. I'm fishing and blowing on. When the sun shines all day. It just calls me a grouper. So I'm fishing and blowing on. Oh yeah. Fishing and blowing on.
Good morning from the Sunshine State. Broadcasting from Palm Beach County, it's the Fishing in Florida Show. Sundays from 8 to 10 a.m. on the WCET FM network. And now, here's your host, Riscala.
All right, we are back. It is the Fishing in Florida Show. Good morning to you. Thank you for taking time to listen in. We greatly appreciate it. Let's see, a couple of ways you can listen to us. If you have the TuneIn app, you can go to Marina Rock. You can find us there. Thank you, Marina Rock. Greatly appreciate you allowing us to share your airwaves from 8 to 10 every Sunday morning. Marina Rock Radio, which is Yacht Rock's sister station, Marina Rock Radio out of Miami. One of the ways you can listen to us on the TuneIn app. Another way you can listen to us on the web. Go on the web and go to our home network. I'm waking up here. Go to our home network, which is www.wtrmradio.com. New network, and a lot of stuff happening in the background, trying to get everything done on the network. The website is not complete, but there is a player on the website, so you can listen to the show there. You can listen to the show if you go to our Facebook page and click on Contact Us. And hopefully by next weekend, we will have the application in place. And just like always, it's not going to have any push notifications, no spyware, no adware, none of that stuff. Just the easiest way, if you have an Android, by the way. The easiest way to listen to us, just you'll have us wherever you go. So whatever show that you want to listen to, simple download. Of course, it's free, and just hit the play button. It's the simplest thing I've ever seen. It's either play or not play. And so it just depends on what time of the day that you tune in will be whatever show that you'll be listening to. All right, my co-host, that it happens to be Carolyn with Atlas Trax. If you want to protect what you love to the max, you got to talk to Carolyn at Atlas Trax, who is expanding her line. And I think I'm going to go back to sleep. Welcome back, Carolyn.
Yeah, thanks, Riscal. And I'll tell you what, when we were on that last break, I found some great 4 hookup sailfish videos that I want to put on the Facebook page so people can see how crazy it is. Moving around a cockpit, water coming over the back, lines getting all tangled up, and I'll make sure I share that with our listeners so they can see some real exciting stuff.
Yeah, and I think Mike was going to send me, Mike Simko with kitefishing.com, I think he was going to send me a couple of videos as well. So as soon as I get those, I'll put them up on the Facebook page where you can see some of the things that he has experienced. That was pretty amazing down here in Mexico, huh? Was there a lot of boats involved in that, or was it just a couple of boats?
Well, it was pretty amazing because where we went was a small island that was only a half mile wide and 4 miles long.
Holy
and it was off the coast of Cancun. There were a lot of sports fish there, but to get to any of the fishing grounds, you had to go out about 40 or 50 miles.
Oh my.
And the water was only about 120 feet deep, which I was very surprised.
Wow.
So when Mike was talking about these frigate birds that you see 1 or 2 of here, there were hundreds of them flying. The bait balls were amazing. And something crazy about those birds, you would see them dive right to the surface to pick up a bait that was being killed by the fish, the sailfish, and underwater was hundreds of sailfish. If they get wet, they can't fly, which is the funniest joke that someone could play on a bird.
I didn't realize that. If they get wet, they can't fly? Not like a seagull, huh?
No, or pelican, and the guys from Real Captivating told me there were a few times they had to actually go scoop them out of the water and let them dry off.
Wow. So they have to be.
These have a span of about 6-7 feet for our listeners. They're big birds, and I'll tell you, they can see fish and bait a mile high in the sky.
That's crazy. I wish I had that kind of eyesight.
Right.
I got to put glasses on just to see my computer monitor, for Pete's sake.
Yeah, absolutely. It was pretty amazing. I mean, this little island was very, very cool. It was old school. You felt like you just walked down a small little narrow street, and the streets were so narrow they were hanging twinkly little lights across to make it like a little festival area. The food was amazing. We had tacos for $7 that were just out of this world, and then they had top-notch restaurants there too that we were lucky to go to. But it was an amazing trip. The weather was incredible, 80 degrees, cool at nighttime. You know, it was definitely a trip of a lifetime.
All of that stuff you're describing on the island was on the island?
Yeah, very small island. We flew into Cancun, took a little taxi to a ferry, a 30-minute ferry to this little island, and that's kind of where all the action was and where all the boats were. And it was amazing. You know, you had your street vendors, so everyone, you know, trying to earn a living, trying to sell you beads and things like that. But, you know, off the beaten path, I mean, we went into this beautiful church that had a hand-painted mural from when the Spaniards came over. You know, we stayed there for a little bit and just kind of watched. It was pretty amazing. A lot of history and heritage over there.
Were you telling me this island's like only a couple of miles long or something, or 4 miles or something? It wasn't very big.
Yeah, it's only 4 miles long and a half-mile wide. And for our listeners, if you zoom into a map in Cancun, if you don't zoom in far enough, you don't even see the island. It's that small. And people get around a few cars, you know, some little scooters, mostly golf cart. It was very, very beautiful. I wish we had another day or two to just explore a little bit. The beach, every beach hotel had, you know, tiki bars and umbrellas. People were very friendly, very nice. It was definitely a place I would go back to again, with or without a boat.
So
and,
the people that you're describing, do they live on the island? Or a
lot of the people live on the island, or they go back and forth on the ferry.
Yeah, okay.
And I'll tell you what's kind of cool is Real Captivating was over there for 28 days. They were counting all the sailfish they caught during that time and putting people's names on them. So when we were there, we broke through the 100 fish. But when they were done, I think they got over 650 sailfish.
Oh, my gosh. Are there any left in the ocean? Jeez.
Well,
so now
let me tell you how
catch and release.
These guys are.
Is it catch and
release?
Well,
catch and release. Here's how good these guys are. These fish never left the water. When these fish got close enough to the boat, they cut them off. The mates cut them right off. The hooks in their mouth dissolve very quickly. No fish was ever brought inside the boat, so we kept everything very safe.
Wow. That's amazing. 600, I can't imagine. Did you get any videos of the bait balls? I think that would be awesome.
You know, I'm sure on our GoPro we did. The videos I'm going to give you is basically cockpit dancing, but the bait balls were amazing. I mean, it was like the water was bubbling, and these guys are so trained to see that stuff so far away. Birds flying really far away. They had all kinds of binoculars out, so it was one of those things where you don't just troll like we do here in the Florida. They looked for the bait balls. They find them on radar. They found the birds, and then they would just run the boat as fast as they could to that area, put the lines in, troll around. And interesting, no spinner. You can't use spinners in Mexico. They prefer you don't.
Wow.
No live bait. Yeah, they don't want the fisheries to be disturbed, so you don't even use live bait over there. No kites, not allowed. So it's strictly using bait, dead bait.
I'm in shock. I don't know how to respond. Good gravy. So
yeah, they make it a little more challenging, and they want to make sure that they preserve and don't train these fish to look for certain things. They want to make sure it's a challenge to catch them versus just feeding them like a puppy.
That's interesting. That's really, I never even considered anything like that. Wow. I figured that if it's a tournament, you go, you give it your best or whatever you got, whether it's artificial or natural, live, dead, You get, you go out there with the best that you got to try to win. That really does make it challenging. You're very limited to what you can do.
Yeah, and these guys are pros, and that trip was mostly recreational. I don't believe they even fished a tournament there, so it was mostly customers and recreational and something new. But it was fun to watch. These guys put us girls to work. I burned my finger a few times from a fishing line that just started free spooling with a fish on the end because I'm new at this.
Mm-hmm.
I bird's nest a couple lines, which the guys weren't that really happy about because you had 4 fish on, and that one had to be pulled out of the water
I could
quickly.
just imagine.
One guy almost blew his stack. I mean, Kip, he's a professional, and he was a little nuts about it. And Wayne was there, and he's just like, oh well, put the next one out. So it's pretty good.
That is frustrating when you've got those reels, the drum type reels that if you're not careful and you get that just backlash, it does look like a bird's nest sometimes. It gets so bad. It takes some patience to get through that, to get that back the way it's supposed to be. For me, I don't have that kind of patience. I just get the scissors out, start cutting the line, get rid of it all, just wind it back up again.
Well, it was amazing, Rascala. I've never seen this before. Usually when we fish here on the east coast of Florida, you're trolling, you get hook up to 1 sailfish and maybe 2.
Mm-hmm.
These sailfish were so insane. They were at the back of the boat. It was like you could walk on them. There were so many. So we were just throwing, pitch baits at them, and they would grab it and run really fast. So when they swim at 45 miles an hour, and you're not an expert like they are, you're liable to have that backlash.
Yeah.
But it's a learning experience. They totally let me and Dorina and I, work the cockpit, learn a little bit more, and it was amazing. It was a good educational trip, and I'll tell you, I'd love to fish with Mike and up over here and learn to kite fish, and we'll get you and Angelia out here and take care of that.
I've learned a lot from Mike. Mike is one of the people that has come on and shared with everybody just because he has the knowledge. He wasn't expecting anything back from what he was sharing. When I first heard about kites, I really thought kites, well, that's silly. That's for kids. Kites are for kids, right? No, their kites are not just for kids. And you can get very sophisticated. You can get very simple. I really learned quite a bit from Mike. What shocked me was, I think it was him who told me he was kite fishing one time. It was either him. I'm pretty sure it was him. They caught a grouper kite fishing. I found that so strange that you're out there kite fishing, but you catch a grouper. I guess if you entice them enough, they'll come up from the bottom, And, I'm thinking kite fishing, well, you're right on the surface. Not necessarily. Just depends on the kind of kite that you have and the kind of equipment that you're running. It doesn't necessarily have to be on the surface. So, I thought that was rather crazy. Are you the hot dog?
Yeah, I thought that was crazy and interesting, too, that you can actually put through the sky with enough weight on it to be deep in the water, and it's a great idea. And creativity is where you catch those fish. And for example, this meat fish tournament this weekend, it's going to be by pound, by species. So I'm sure, he's going to do really well. And there's some decent money.
Were you the one who uses are you the hot dog one? Somebody uses a hot dog.
I use hot dogs. Hot dogs, I just buy one, get one free at Publix this week. I just got 2 more packs.
Hey, that's ready. You know what? It's easy bait. So when you use hot dogs, what do you usually catch?
Well, just off the back of the canal. I don't take them out on the boat, but in the back of the canal, there's some good snapper. There's some snook, grab them every once in a while. Some good catfish on the bottom. Oh, we've got a nice school of amberjacks that come through here. And I'll tell you what's fun for me is I never put food in the garbage can. I always take my food to the canal and I dump it at the same piling. So I got a good little aquarium in my backyard.
Oh my gosh!
That, I could pretty much fish and catch anytime I want. I just let everything go back in. There's one time we saw a saltwater crocodile back here. That because it was a little strange. Yeah, manatee or 2 will come in, but it's usually the jacks are what I love catching because they just come in.
They're crazy.
Yeah. And it's funny because our canal is not that wide, so every once in a while I'll cast, get hooked up to the dock across the way, get my golf cart, go unhook it off the dock, and throw it back into the water. So it's pretty funny too.
I never thought about using. I don't know why. It just never occurred to me. You told me about the hot dogs. I was like, oh, jeez. I thought
you know why the hot dogs work? The hot dogs work really well because they're so dense that they don't fall off the hook when you cast it.
Mm-hmm.
Everything else I lose. I mean, squid. We have squid in the freezer, and when Angelia was here, we used silver sides and actual real bait because she wasn't game for the hot dog thing. But and that's why we caught garbage bags and things like that, and not fish I'm picking.
I'd probably end up eating all the bait. Give me one of them hot dogs.
Plan B. They throw them on the grill and eat fish.
Wow.
Same time.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, no, it's real good stuff. So I'm excited. She's going to start fishing with us when she can, and we've just increased our territory because now we can fish her boat down in the Keys, and we can go all the way up to Palm Beach, and whoever else wants to donate for us. And I'll tell you, it's all about fishing and getting out there, and it doesn't have to be on a boat. It could be, as you know, in a little back canal, or it could be on the side of the road.
Well, we have a couple of bridges here in Lake Worth that have catwalks below the bridge. The bridges are quite high. They're not. I don't think they're drawbridges. Not that I don't know. Can't remember anymore. But I think that they're not drawbridges. So because they're not, they're quite high. So they take the catwalks are down below, and they're not very far off the water. So there's a lot of places that you can fish where you don't have to be. You don't have to be in a boat. And then we have the Boynton Inlet, which is kind of rough to fish, the Boynton Inlet. The water just screams through that place. But there's a couple of places on the side that you can fish where the current is not quite so bad. And there's some tremendous fishing sometimes that comes through that inlet. Have you ever been through the Boynton Inlet?
Yes, I have.
That's
and I'll tell you,
treacherous
that
inlet.
is almost like a river raft theme park because it's a little scary. That water comes out of there so fast.
Treacherous inlet there.
Yeah, I had a situation that was kind of scary with my old 28 Mako. Of course, being a girl, I didn't have enough engine oil in it, and coming into the Boca Inlet, which is very similar, the engines reduced themselves to about 1,000 RPM, which means no forward steering. And I was really worried about getting on the rocks, and thankfully, I made it through. But yeah, those inlets, especially Boynton, are extremely difficult to navigate.
Yeah, some heavy duty stuff going on there. All right, I think we have Captain Clyde. Captain Clyde is also known as the Crappie Psychic. Welcome, Captain Clyde, to the Fishing in Florida show on the new Trim Radio Network.
Good morning, Rascala. How you doing today?
Good, Carolyn.
Good morning, Capt.
Good morning.
And
so you survived the change in the clock thing.
Yes, I did, and I just actually sat down with a cup of coffee, and so I wasn't listening to the show. So you have to introduce me to your co-host there, Rascala.
Well, this is Carolyn. Carolyn is with Atlas Trax. I don't know if you've ever met Carolyn before. We had Pam Worth. You probably remember Pam. Pam is one of the top female kayak anglers here in Florida. She helped me out for quite some time on the air, and she decided that she had a lot of tournaments going on, and this was beginning to become not so much a conflict, but it was she could be doing something that was other than being in the studio.
I completely understand that.
So we have her still on. God bless her. I love her dearly. So we have Carolyn. Carolyn, like I said, she's with Atlas Trax. Carolyn has a wide variety of products in the tracking industry and expanding. And Carolyn, I guess, how long have we been doing it now, Carolyn? Over a year, I think, right?
Yeah, actually, I was talking about that yesterday. I think it's been over a year I've been your co-host. Honored to be so.
Yeah. So there you go, my friend. Carolyn.
Well, good morning. Good morning, Carolyn.
Well, yeah, absolutely. And I know you're drinking that coffee outside on the porch.
Actually, no. I am sitting in my shop, and I was pulling apart some of the trailers that we make. And because we're running low, we've been getting a lot of huge orders, which is a tremendous blessing for our small company. So every second that I have, I'm trying to do something, because I've been really having a great stretch of charters. I had 4 days in a row this past week, and the Crappie, otherwise known here as sacalé, which is a French word that means sack of milk. The charters we've been doing outstanding and having big smiles on customers' faces. So.
Amen. Well, I'm glad to hear that, Captain Clyde. Now, Carolyn, you probably don't know a lot about Captain Clyde, but his nickname is the Crappie Psychic, and the reason they call him that is because he seems to have this psychic ability to, you be fishing next to the guy and you can't catch anything, and yet he's pulling them up right and left. He also is one of those that shares his knowledge. You know, like I talked earlier about Mike Simko sharing his knowledge about the kites. Captain Clyde goes out to universities, I think, or colleges, right? Which one do you go to? You go to schools or something, right?
Yeah. Well, the last one I did was ULL here in Louisiana, and that was a couple of years back. Of course, the COVID situation completely messed up everything, all the shows, all my seminars. Hopefully that'll get kicked up again later on this year.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that as we progress down this road. More and more of the states are reducing the restrictions, and we need to get back to normal. This has been going on way too long. When it all started, they said it was 2 weeks. Here we are a year later, and it's not 2 weeks. It's 2 masks. It's beyond crazy. So, Captain Clyde is a small business owner. Carolyn, I'll tell you a little bit about Captain Clyde. He's a small business owner like you and me. He's suffered the devastation over the last year. It just drove him crazy with a lot of his customers not being able to, because we're not essential, not being able to perform, not being able to get the business that he needs to survive. It has been difficult for him, and just like it's been difficult for you and me. And he's made his way through. God willing, he's made his way through. And one of the things that he makes, which I have some of, and I've tried, and they really do work quite well, are these things he calls trailers. Explain the trailers, Captain Clyde.
Well, the trailers is what started us out. That's our bread and butter, so to speak. We do have actual baits now. We've been at this for about 7 years, but the trailers are what you would consider an enhancement to anything you're using, any plastic, any spinner bait, any live bait, anything you traditionally would use. If you add this scented trailer to your bait, it will increase your catch, probably triple your catch. And we also have what we call our crappie ammo, which is our version of the niblets, but ours lasts 10 times longer, minimum 10 times longer. And, of course, it has that same scent on it as the trailers, which we call our psychic sauce, which is my recipe from between 15 and 20 years ago. So I've been a big, I've always known that scent is huge when it comes to fishing. And so I've been tinkering with scent for a very, very long time. So when we started the company, I just brought that recipe right into it. And so our trailers are all scented with the psychic sauce, and my ammo also. And it's an enhancement, and it just increases your success. It's unbelievable what it does. And my customers get to see it firsthand. And when they leave, when we get back to the launch, I have customers for life with the Crappie Psychic product.
So let me tell you what I did with them. I cheated. I was taking the grandkids fishing here in the backwaters, which is brackish water, like semi-fresh water. And we were using, night crawlers and regular worms, and it gets to be messy. It gets all over your fingers, and it's gooey. And so I bought, I don't know how many different ones I bought. I think 4 or 5 different colors of these trailers. And instead of using worms, I put the trailers on. with no weight, and had the kids throw them out there, and I was shocked. I was shocked at what they brought up. It was, I think they work almost as good, if not in some cases better, because sometimes they get away with the worms. They can, if they bite it just right, they'll yank the worm right off the hook. With these trailers, they don't get that. They don't have that that opportunity, because it's the material that they're made out of is much stronger, and so it's actually, some cases it's better than, it works better than the worms does. And it was a lot better for me. My hands stayed clean, and you didn't have to change the bait every time they caught a fish. It was pretty good. I was quite surprised, pleasantly surprised. So, testimonial from me. I've used them personally, and I was very surprised, pleasantly surprised, like I said, that how well they work.
And I know Captain Clyde told us in the past that even guys are using them, and gals, for doing some wahoo fishing, dolphin fishing over here.
Yeah, I think they've, right, yeah, Captain Clyde?
Yeah, that's on my, I'm sorry.
I was going to say,
on my saltwater side.
Yeah. Yeah, they've adapted them to the saltwater now.
Well, we make them especially for the saltwater side, because after we started out the company, probably after the first year, I was still working. And a lot of the guys there were saltwater fishermen. And they were like, hey, what are you going to do for us saltwater guys? And that's really when we introduced the trout trailers, because we call sea trout here, we call them speckled trout. And so I made the trout trailers, and that went over very well for speckled trout and red drum, which we call redfish. And then after that, we created our huge mega trailers. They're 7 inches long, and we originally created them for trailers for tarpon, and they work extremely well as trailers for tarpon. But then some of the Florida fishermen, and actually some of the fishermen here in Louisiana, started using them on a straight jig head and catching red snapper, cobia, wahoo, grouper, just on a straight jig head. Because of the action that they have. Now, the mega trailers, we don't have those scented yet, because we don't have the bags for them. Believe it or not, bags are quite expensive, and especially a large bag, for that size bait.
Mm. Wow. And each one is handmade, is that right?
That is correct.
Still making them by
right
hand.
Here in the good old Crappie Psychic shop that I am now sitting in.
Still making them by hand, the good old-fashioned way. I love it. Yeah, this is one of the reasons, and it's been a while since we've had you on, so some people, this may be new to them, but this is one of the things that we do on the show. I have a passion for bringing ladies into this, into the community, because I know that because of my mom and her love for fishing, what it did for our families. That's one of the things I love. I love being able to bring the kids into the spotlight anytime that we can get them off of the technology, and I love technology, don't misunderstand me, but to get them away from it, because we're saturated with it day in and day out, and get out there and enjoy what God has given us. And then, of course, small businesses. Small businesses are what this country was, the back of this country was built on small businesses. We are the guys that give back constantly. So one of the passions that I have is to have people on here who have small businesses, whether it's Captain Clyde, whether it's Carol with Mermaid Vodka, whether that might be Trae with Big Dog Tackle. We have a variety of people who visit and tell us about their small businesses. And again, because I'm a small business owner. Carolyn is a small business owner. For us, the last year has been devastating. And in any way that we can use the help. So if you have to make a decision about buying something from a big name store or buying something from a small family-owned company, I would beg you, please consider the small family-owned company. We need help now more than we've ever needed before. This last year has just been, I can't put into words how bad it's been for small businesses. The big guys don't seem to be bothered by any of this. The big guys seem to be, quote, the essential ones who are open all the time. And the little guys are the ones who are deemed to be non-essential. Now, again, these are general statements. The little guys were the ones that were deemed to be non-essential, and they suffered tremendously. And we're talking about families. We're talking about putting food on people's table. We're talking about being able to support a roof over our heads and clothes on our back. For some, they didn't make it through this. And those who made it through, was the skin on their teeth, if you will. It just barely the thread to get by. So I ask you that if you have an opportunity to deal with a small business versus a large business, please consider the small business owners, because we really do need help right now more than ever before, and it is because of us. It's the small guys that give back. You'll find that it's the little guys involved in it because they're personally involved in the community. They find ways of giving back much, much more than these large corporations. You buy from something like an Atlas Trax or a Crappie Psychic. When you buy something from them, you're actually investing. They look at you as an investor in their company. And that's the kind of relationship that you'll get from them versus these, any of these big companies. Go call one of them for customer service and see what you get. See how long you're on the phone, or see how many people you have to talk to. Or I can't answer that question. I have to talk to this guy or the other guy. And then deal with a small company, a small family-owned company, and see how fast you get your answers, how quick you get your service. People call Carolyn Friday nights. Carolyn, I need help. Do that with one of these big companies. Well, you'll have to call back on Monday when we're open. Sorry. Right? Am I right?
I have to tell you what happened the other day. I had a gentleman call me. He was sitting in the parking lot of West Marine, a big box store. He had just bought a competitive tracker. And I talked to him on the phone. He went back in. He returned it. And I then met him at a local marina, got him all set up in like 30 seconds. And since then, he's purchased a life raft, a satellite phone, and an EPIRB. And this all just happened Thursday. So I was thrilled that he went in and returned the other competitive products.
You're much better off dealing with the small business owners, I'm telling you. You're going to be treated like part of the family because they recognize the importance of your purchase as an investment in their company. So I know you have the trailers and you have the big trailers. Anything new that you've been working on, Captain Clyde?
Yes, I'm glad you asked. But before I jump into the new product, since you mentioned the female anglers and female business owners, I just wanted to let you know we do have a female pro staffer on our saltwater side and a female pro staffer on our freshwater side.
Wow.
And so we have some great female anglers here in Louisiana, and that is continuing to grow. But on the new side, we just introduced, and I really don't think I've been on your show since the COVID started. I may have, I just can't remember.
Welcome to my world.
We just introduced our brand new hammerheads, and that's a jig head that I designed, and the hammer is spelled Hamma, not Hammer. And the way that design came about is I haven't used a round jig head in 20 years because when it comes to crappie fishing, everything I use, there's a reason behind it because I am OCD in life in general. So when it comes to fishing, I pay attention to the most minute details. And if you take a marble and you drop it in an aquarium, that marble goes straight down from the top to the bottom. But when you toss a quarter in that same aquarium, it's going to flutter all the way down because a quarter is flat with edges. So that's the reason I only use extremely flat jig heads because I want something added to my whole system. And I want a little bit of action from that jig head, which a flat jig head will give you that, and a round jig head will not. So I used to, before there was a company that even created anything similar to what I have now, I would be in the shop with a hammer and an anvil, hammering out round jig heads. So I was originally going to call these jig heads flat jig heads, and my wife said, "Oh, no. I've been watching you for so many years in that shop hammering out round jig heads. We're going to call them hammerheads." So that's what we call them, and it's been doing outstanding with the customers. They love it.
Wow.
Because there's nothing on the market as flat as mine. Now, I introduced them in just two sizes to begin with, the 1/32 and the 1/16. Of course, that's, for crappie fishing. But my saltwater guys, they love the concept, and they want me to introduce a 1/4-ounce jig head with a 2-aught hook, which I am in the process of getting those done. And then also I'm going even smaller for crappie fishermen and panfish, brim fishermen with a 1/48 with a number 4 hook. So I will be introducing a couple of more sizes. And like I said, they're going over great. You can see them on our website, thecrappiepsychic.com, and they're called hammerheads.
And if you would, we're rapidly running out of time. Crappiepsychic.com. Spell crappie.
Crappie. But the big word that people have a problem with is psychic. They want to put an H in there. It's PSYCHIC. PSYCHIC.
Yeah.
So it's the, and then you got to put the word the or the right in front of it, THE. Thecrappiepsychic.com.
All right, my friend. And you're out there in Louisiana. What's it like today in Louisiana?
Very nice spring day. We're probably going to approach maybe even close to 80 degrees.
Yeah, that's what
today.
we're looking at.
But the fishing right now has been phenomenal. We're getting towards the end of the spawn here in Louisiana. So catching a lot of the big females that they just go up to the, close to the shore, and maybe a foot of water. They spawn, they lay their eggs, and then they move out back into the deeper water. And then the males move in to sit on the nest and protect the eggs. So a lot of those big females, we can catch them now, outside, not fishing a foot deep right on the shore.
That's amazing. All right, my friend, God bless you. Once again, thank you so much for taking time to call in. Let me give Carolyn an opportunity to say goodbye to you. I wish you an awesome day.
Absolutely,
Thank you very
Captain
much.
Clyde. Have a great day up there. And correct me if I'm wrong. Didn't one of your kids, or don't you have a grandbaby or something?
Oh yeah,
not too long ago?
I sure do. We had our first grandson a month ago. Friday made 1 month, so he's a month old. And but actually, if you want to look at his progression, he's really a week old because he was introduced to us 3 weeks early.
Oh wow!
And little guy was only 5 pounds 11 ounces. Now he's over 7 pounds. So he's growing.
Goodness.
He's getting strong, and we're very blessed to see our first grandson.
Well, congratulations, Grandpa.
Congratulations.
Wish you an awesome day, my friend.
You too, Rascala. It's always a pleasure to talk to you, and you too, Carolyn. And hope you guys. One more thing. We did land a pretty big store in Florida last week. They're called Blue Water Outfitters. I don't know if you guys ever heard of them. So that's pretty. That was a cool deal.
Congratulations! Wow.
A store that size.
All
That's
right.
awesome.
Well, we're out on this slot.
St. Joe. That sound familiar to you guys?
Port St. Joe's.
Florida?
Yeah, it's up in the Panhandle. Port St. Joe's up in the Panhandle.
That's where they're located.
Yep.
So anyway, I'm glad I got to plug that in. And thanks again for having me.
All right, my friend. I'm looking forward to having you again soon. Be well.
Be safe.
Bye.
All right, my friends. That is the Crappie Psychic. You can find him at thecrappiepsychic.com. You can find him on Facebook, a couple of different places you can find him. And we rapidly ran. This is what happens when we get the interesting guests on. We run out of time so quickly. And I have the Florida Salty Cowgirl is on the line. Good morning, Angelia.
Good morning, everybody. How are we doing this morning?
We're doing great. And you know what? Talking to you now is a whole different meaning to me after I hung out with you.
Ditto, Carolyn. What a fabulous weekend I had with you guys.
That was awesome. She visited with Carolyn on Friday, and then she got to visit with me yesterday. We had a phenomenal lunch and a great conversation, and it just really was great all the way around. And I'm glad that you were able to make it to your destination without any issues. And so how are you feeling this morning? And what does it feel like to lose that 1 hour?
Okay, well, to be really deadly honest with you guys, a lot of times I will turn the ringer off on my phone at night because I get crazy phone calls and it keeps me up. or wakes me up way too early. And I needed some sleep last night after my travels across Florida, and I had no idea. And thank goodness I set every Sunday alarm for 9:30 in the morning. And when that thing went off, I saw your text, Scala, and I went, no wonder I'm so tired this morning. So I had no idea that the time was changing last night. I guess that's what happens when you get busy.
Yes. Yeah, we lost an hour last night somewhere into the great, deep, what do they call it? The black hole of time. We lost an hour last night. I just wish they'd leave it alone. You know, Mother Nature does a fine job all by herself. The days normally get longer. The days normally get shorter. Why can't we just leave it alone? It really doesn't.
And I'm a big fan of our summertime. I don't think that we should ever change it in Florida because of our outdoor activities.
Yeah.
When it gets dark at about 5:30 or 6 in the evening, it cuts our outdoor activities down a couple of hours because in the middle of the summer, we're not getting dark until 8 o'clock at night.
Yeah.
And it's fabulous. It extends our fishing time. And everyone knows I'm quite the avid troller. And I truly, in my heart of heart, believes that the 2 hours in the morning after the sun comes up and the 2 hours in the evening right before the sun sets are your absolute best hot times to troll. And this type of year is fantastic because you're not having to get up at 4:30 in the morning to hit that sunrise.
Yeah.
And you can stay out a little bit later, which is really, really nice. So it's my absolute favorite time of year. I wish we never change time. We should have the summertime all the time.
It's like I said, it's natural. The Mother Nature does it by herself. She makes the days shorter. She makes the days longer. Leave it alone. Just leave it alone. Gee. Now there's somebody, I hear that somebody's going to, one of the senators or somebody's talking about finally just letting it go for Pete's sake.
That would be fantastic. I'll vote for that.
I think it all started with the war.
Too, because I got advised that I was telling Angela, I don't know if you were on the phone earlier, but Chris's alarm went off at 5:30 in the morning because he went gun shooting last weekend. So I jump up and I'm like, holy shit, what do we have to do? And I looked at the clock in the kitchen. It was 4:30. I'm like, are you kidding me?
Yeah, now I have to remember to change my watch. If it wasn't for these fabulous phones that automatically change the time, I would be clueless now. So thank you for that bit of technology.
Well, that's why I sent you a text. I wasn't sure, if you were going to use your phone because, like you said, I'm pretty spoiled when it comes to a lot of this stuff. There was a time when this particular event would happen. I'd have to, before I went to bed, make sure that I changed all the clocks. Because if I didn't, inevitably, one of those would be the first clock I would see in the morning and go, okay, I still got some time. No, you're out of time, pal. Yeah, so with the technology, it's all done automatically for us.
Yeah, so I have to go back and I have to mention the other day. It was so cool because Friday afternoon I knew I had Angelia was coming up and we got to have a great sushi dinner. We came back to my house. We hit the bait freezer. We went out on the dock and did our best to catch some fish. We did our best, but cocktailed a few. But it was just so cool to have you hang out with me on Friday night, keep me company, raise a little hell, and talk about fishing. And boy, we watched videos of her, videos of me. We talked about all kinds of ways to brainstorm, and and she's got a tracker that she'll be taking with her on a nice trip she's doing in about a week.
Yep.
Yeah, in fact, thinking about it this morning as I woke up and I'm listening to the show, thinking about it this morning, I will be on an airplane next Sunday morning, so I will not be on the show, but I'm quite excited for a little bit of a change of scenery. Anybody in Florida should know this last week was just really windy, and down in the Keys, we had 20-plus knot winds for 5 or 6 days straight down there with 5 to 6 foot seas on Oceanside, which absolutely, if you want to go out in that, you're just crazy. It just beats you up. I go out in a day like that and I come home and I literally feel like I have just been beat up by all those waves. So nobody was really out fishing this week. Even the big head boats, the big 50, 60, 70-foot head boats were all laid in this week. And I actually drove all the way down to Key West and back this week. And as you drive down there, you can look to the right and look at Bayside, and there was just white caps as far as the eye could see. You look to the left over the bridge, you look at Oceanside, white caps as far as the eye can see. So it was definitely windy, and anybody who did get fishing last week in the Keys, they had to be in the backcountry up in a hole somewhere very protected. So the last week was not the greatest fishing week in the Keys, but fishing has still been pretty good. We're at that really interesting time of year where our winter fish are kind of thinning out a little bit. The waters are warming up. Our summer fish are starting to come in. People are still cherry picking the winter fish, still cherry picking some mahi that are coming in right now. The bottom fishing is coming in a little bit nicer. So in the next few weeks here, we'll switch into a really nice springtime fishing. The mahi should be coming in really good. We have to say bye-bye to our beautiful winter fish. You know, our sailfish are going to thin out real big time, and our wahoo are going to thin out. But I love the change of the seasons. I used to joke with Northerners when they would say, oh, Florida's no fun because they don't have any seasons. And I said, sure we do. We've got mahi season and wahoo season and blackfin season and grouper season and lobster season. And we have great seasons. What are you talking about? So we're at a beautiful change of seasons here in Florida. And it's always an exciting time for me, changing up your thinking with fishing and trying a little something different. So very, very cool, exciting time. And I'm looking forward to fishing some mahi tournaments this year with success, I might add, Carolyn.
Yes, and together, by the way.
Absolutely. I'm going to join Carolyn with the Pink Ladies fishing team this year, which I'm
Yay!
very, very excited about. And yes, it was such a pleasure. After you hear you guys' voice for years, and we've had many conversations even off of the air, so to actually meet you both in person was just fabulous. And yeah, Carolyn, I had the greatest time with you. We made fast friends. I'm so excited about what the future can hold for us business-wise. Making those connections in our industry is just really, really crucial. It's you never know who you're going to meet next that's going to open all new doors for you and put you kind of in a different direction. So love the marine community in Florida. So supportive and so together. It's just really, really nice. And if I could play off of what the Crappie psychic was sharing with us, I am a true believer in scent. And even though I've not been blessed enough to use any of his particular products, I love to run bait when I'm trolling because I truly believe that it leaves scent in the water. I love to run ballyhoo and bonita strips and I do run artificial lures as well. But I truly believe if you just throw a few baits out there, it puts a scent in the water that is just undeniable. The fish are going to follow it. And believe it or not, fishing in Alaska the last couple of summers, they will actually take their frozen herring, and when they're defrosting it, they put it in a bucket of herring oil that is so thick and so sticky. It's almost like maple syrup, thick and sticky and stinky. Woo, it is stinky. I'll have gloves on and I'm fishing frozen herring out of a bucket of herring oil in Alaska, and you've got gloves on, and I dare you to try to get the fish smell out of those gloves. It is stinky. But I tell you what, it works like magic. So there's definitely something to scent. And I would love to use some of his scented baits for the saltwater, see if they work, because I agree with him. Scent is a lot. Scent is everything. Presentation and scent are the two things that I concentrate most with when I'm fishing. And I really, really am looking forward to using some of his saltwater baits. That could really be a game changer for people. So don't ever forget about scent, guys. Presentation and scent.
Now here's something I haven't asked you about in a while. I know at one time you were hand making lures. Are you still making those?
You know, I've been so darn busy that I have sold out of most of my handmade lures, and I still intend to make a few no matter what, because everybody should know by now I was taught by the most wonderful man named Peter Camerano, who owned J-Cam Lures, who is no longer with us, and I still miss that man every day. What a wonderful, wonderful human being. And he was probably my biggest cheerleader when I really started putting myself out there in fishing. You know, I was fishing, you know, kind of behind the scenes for a very long time. And when I wanted to really advertise my business and get out there and get some sponsors, Pete was one of the very first people that really believed in me. And to have somebody 30 years older than me that was willing to sit down and teach me this trade was really, really, really
awesome.
nice and really cool.
That is awesome.
It handed down a skill like that from somebody much your elder. It's just a special thing.
Yep.
So there's no way I'm never not going to be making my own lures. But I am going to partner up with a gentleman named Paul Bartley from Peg Leg Lures, who is offering a lot of the lures that I don't make. So if you want any of the JKM designs that I do not make, you can always find them at Peg Leg Lures. And he's doing a very, very good job with them. And then I still have a couple of my signature ones that I'm going to continue to make forever.
Cool.
I sell them to my charter clients when they see that they work. Guys used to think I was really funny because I will gravitate towards pink lures every time. And, the guys kind of made fun of me thinking it was kind of just a girly thing. And there's kind of a story behind my pink gear, I'll tell you guys. But I tell you what, I truly believe in those pinks and the pink and chartreuses and the pinks and whites. A lot of the guys swear by black heads and black skirts, and I've never done well with them. So, yeah, I'm definitely sticking with my pink signature stuff, guys. And always reach out to me if you're wanting to get a hold of some of those because they truly work. And on my charters, when people see that they truly work, I definitely sell some. So all good things with that. But cute little story about my pink gear, guys. When I very, very started really, really hardcore fishing in my 20s, there were not very many women out there fishing. We're not going to talk about my age, but it was quite a while ago, and there wasn't that many women fishing at all. So I was doing really corny things, like I would search out, something that was pink for gear, or I would take my pliers and I would wrap them with pink cord, or I would paint my tackle box pink. And my mentality was that then the guys wouldn't touch it, and it was true. The guys wouldn't touch my gear, and if somebody did take it, it's very easily identifiable. But in the years that have happened since, you can go into any local tackle shop and see all kinds of pink gear and pink rods and reels, and they're really, really doing cool stuff for women. But I have a whole set of pink custom rods that I've had for years, and they keep getting added to, and they're special made for me, and pink backpacks and pink everything, you guys. So my pink trolling lures just kind of go with my whole pink theme. But it started out so the guys would touch my gear. Now the guys don't care.
Well, we are at that moment where we are rapidly running out of time. So before we go, give you an opportunity. Anything you want to share with the listeners, Miss Salty Cowgirl?
Absolutely. I'm doing some traveling here, guys. Like I said, I won't be in the Keys for another couple of weeks, but love to take you out. Been doing some great fish guiding trips lately that have just fantastic. You guys can always contact me on social media, Florida Salty Cowgirl on Facebook, Florida Salty Cowgirl on Instagram, and very, very soon here, I keep saying it, but I will have my website up. I wasn't really sure what direction this year was going to take me. And also, I'd like to do a quick little plug. Carolyn and I are venturing up on a little business venture where we can sell gear for your boat, electronics and tracking devices, and everything from anchors and anchor lines to spotlights to stereo systems and radios. So anybody who's needing any type of gear or looking to re-outfit their boat or just upgrade things, please reach out to us and we'll try to give you the best deal possible, and probably a much better deal than your local West Marine or your Bass Pro Shop. And you'll keep it in that small female-owned business too.
Amen.
So like we were small businesses. So anybody looking to re-outfit their boat or to upgrade their equipment, please reach out to Carolyn or I, and we will definitely help you out.
Cool. All right, my friend. Wish you an awesome day, Miss Carolyn. Thank you for being co-host this morning. Anything you want to share before we're out of here?
No, it's just this is the fastest show ever. I don't know where it went. It was 2 hours went by like nothing. So it's wish we could hang out longer. Everyone be safe, and we'll see you next Sunday.
All right, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us today. It has been an honor and a privilege, and we will be back in a week. And by then, I hope we have the application going. And we'll see you in a week. So long. Well, that is if this thing will work. Here we go. There we go.